Okay, not secretary. He said.
Not open yet. Yeah, recording has started.
Yeah, recording is started. Yes. So back from a very different kind of break. People were talking like bullets going left and right, and no one understood a thing. Anyway, coming back to a topic. There was always something we get every time we look back at the small things that have happened to us. And somehow they have always helped us. For instance, every time I used to watch TV when I was in class two, till class two, my dad would say, "You watch whatever you want, but write a page or two about whatever you're doing." And believe me, that has been so helpful during my exam times. Because after class two or three, stopped watching TV because watching TV was one thing and writing two, 3 pages about whatever I was watching was something else. And to again help us with some things, we have a general evaluator again with the evaluation session for today. I call Toastmaster Jagdish onto the virtual stage.
Thank you, Nikhilesh. Once again, good morning, fellow Toastmasters. Without any further ado, I would like to call Toastmaster Shivans to evaluate, to give a report on Toastmaster Pranav's speech.
I hope I'm audible.
Yes, you got.
Alright, I'll start my evaluation of this master's Pranav's speech, and it will basically go a couple of positives, followed by a couple of negatives, followed by again a couple of positives. So starting off, as usual, Toastmaster Pranav, your hand gestures. Seeing you have seen you speeches in the offline version and now in the online version, one thing I cannot deny is how good your hand gestures and body movements relating to a speech are. And again today, not just the hand gestures, the usage of a prop. Using a prop during a speech is always a positive, no matter how it is used, given that it draws the audience attention to you. Now, maybe a slight negative, given that it was a story and given that it was a fictional story, you could have given it a better starting. I think the beginning didn't just grab me enough, I felt. So it could have been given a bit more grabbing of a start. Maybe you could have raised your voice and started on with a high note. I just felt that starting was a bit, not to say bland, but to say not giving enough emphasis on the beginning. And then again, because it is a fictional story, I felt you had to describe Larry and Lucy a bit more with what their personalities are, with what their ideals are. You gave a, you gave a pretty much one sentence for each of them, their personalities, but I felt because we had to connect with them in the story, their personalities were an important part of the story. It was felt that you could have given maybe a incidents could have been given maybe a different perspective for them or something like that. And then again, just by the storytelling, there was a sudden change in the tonality of the story. Like out of nowhere, it became that no, we're going to get $1 million. I can understand how it happens, but maybe you could have just grown them a bit organically going to that way. For example, I don't know how many of you have seen Game of Thrones, but it kind of felt like that. You rushed to that point. And next, coming to the positives once again, your voice modulation was on point. I have to say that where you wanted the audience to be drawn in, I can assure you they were drawn in. And another huge positive was the dramatization of some scenes. Because the story needs the drama and you acting on it, and you did do that. Overall, for me, personally, it was a brilliant speech. And yes, it did grab me. The conclusion was maybe a bit wary, but it wasn't to the point to bother anyone with your speech. And yeah, that was a good speech. And maybe you could have worked on the title a bit. It could have been more intriguing and more interesting. That's all from my side. Thanks a lot. Over to the general evaluator for the day.
Thank you, Shivansh, for evaluating Toastmaster Pranav in a precise way. Now, I would like to call Toastmaster Shambhavi to give an evaluation report on Toastmaster Aditya.
Thank you, General Evaluator, and I'm back with my evaluation of Toastmaster Aditya's speech. Toastmaster Aditya's speech was based on how his experience was about mentorship. He did talk about a time when he was a protege, and it was from a time in his life when he joined Toastmasters in 8th grade. Toastmaster Aditya, your spoken language was clear and easily understood, and you used eye contact to engage the audience as far as you can go in the online setup, and you used physical gestures too effectively, and you started your speech with a story. You engaged the audience with a story. I would say that was a great tool to keep the audience engaged in your speech. Coming to, I had to nitpick a lot to get the points of improvement. So coming to them, audience engagement, talking about audience engagement, you could have interacted with the audience more. You could have asked them questions to relate your story with how the audience have had their experiences with. Secondly, voice modulation. At times your voice got monotonous, so maybe you could use tone, speed, and volume as tools for your speech. Thirdly, do stand up when you give a speech on the online setup, because then the evaluator can better notice your body language. And coming to summarizing the whole speech, you said, so you started with a great quote that I resounded with. If you can't see where you're going, ask someone who has been there before. I would say that clearly gives out a message about what mentoring is or your view of what it is. You started with how you started your Toastmaster journey in 8th grade and how you thought it teaches you cooking. And then you spoke about your first day at Toastmasters, your realization that it is not what you thought it was, and your experience with the dreaded table topic session. You gave a dramatic account of your perspective of that day, but then you told how after you met your mentor Sridhar, you talked about your experience with him, and then you showed the transition of your table topic experiences or your Toastmaster experience in general, a transition between those two. And then you use certain codes to make it clearer, like instead of following what people call practice makes perfect man perfect, you believe your mentor believed in perfect practice makes man perfect. All of these accounts, I believe, added more strength to your speech. One thing I liked a lot about your speech is storytelling, and I would like you to incorporate that in your further speeches. And yeah, that's all for my evaluation. And you are officially now a mentor. Welcome to mentoring, and all the best to your next speeches.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shambhavi. Now, I would like to call upon Grammarian to give her report.
So, as the grammarian, I had a lot to write today. I had over 4 pages. I had so much that I'd probably have to filter it out and tell. So, for good usages, we have Toastmaster Nikhilesh who said, "We have become a story. Pour our hearts out, cook up something faster than Maggie, post exam shenanigans." Those were really good usages. Toastmaster Pranav said, "Peculiar, join new no bounds, and tapestry." Toastmaster Aditya had, "Thunder breaks the calmness of rain. Practice makes man perfect." Then we had Toastmaster Revant to use 2 words, merry-making and exuberant, which are very well used words. And then in the table topic session, we had Toastmaster Angelina who said, "Kick off nervousness," and "There is always a bigger fish." It's very hard to use quotes during an impromptu session, so that was really well used. And now for some improvements that can be made. I won't be mentioning the names. I'll just tell what was the improper usage and what could be a better usage. There was a usage to make me better, which can be instead written as to assist me in becoming better. There was laid not in the book. We can write that as did not lie in the book. And there was just everything was fine, which can be better written as everything besides that went well. There was picked up by our teachers. We can write that as selected by our teachers. And for the word of the day and the idiom of the day, Toastmaster Aditya used the idiom of the day and Toastmaster Revant used the word of the day. Because of connection issues, if I have missed out any other, I apologize. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sharanya. Now, I would like to call upon Toastmaster Vishnu to deliver his accountability.
Yeah, Toastmaster Jagdish. Coming to my report, first person Toastmaster Jagdish, the general evaluator, he used 7 plus hours, 2 repeats. Jagdish, you should concentrate on your crutch words and improper usages. Hope you will do so. And Toastmaster Pranav, Jaswita, Nikhilesh, Aditya, Angelina, Shivansh, you guys did a great job. I never found any crutch, repetitive pause, filler, any of those sentences. And then the newbies, Sri Lalita and Nikhil, they, although they were very new, they used very few R's and ums and ands too. So even though they are new, they try to mingle with us and speak more efficiently. That's a kudos to them. So please try to improve in the next speech, in the next role taking. And then I observed few pauses, very little pauses in Shivan's evaluation while he's speaking. And then on a hard evaluation, I also found 3 hours in Shambhavi's speech evaluation. And grammarian Sharanya, she did a great job while she's evaluating. That's it from my side. This is what I evaluated from today's meeting. Over to Toastmaster Jagdish, the general evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vishnu. Now, I would like to call upon the timer for today's meeting, Toastmaster.
Okay, hello, I'm Raj. Now I'm just going to read out the time which everyone has taken. Pranav for his speech, which was of 7 minutes, he took 7 minutes 20 seconds. Aditya took 5 minutes 57 seconds. And then in table topic session, no one actually gave the speech within time. Everyone was Jaswita was 2 minutes 34 seconds, Pranav was 2 minutes 6 seconds, Sri Lalita was 3 minutes 37 seconds, Angelina was 2 minutes 30 seconds, and Nikhil was 2 minutes 19 seconds. And for evaluators, Shrivansh, he took 3 minutes 17 seconds. Shambhavi took 3 minutes 5 seconds. And for grammarian, Sharanya, she took 1 minute 50 seconds, and Vishnu took 1 minute 14 seconds. That's all from my side. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Viraj. Can you please share the report in the chat window? You are on mute.
Sorry, did you tell me something? I didn't hear.
Okay, can you please paste the time report in the chat window?
Okay, sure.
Thank you.
I'll
Okay,
do it in a minute.
Yeah, sure. Take your time. Coming to the general evaluation for today's session, the meeting started at 10:03, which is delayed by 3 minutes. But since it's an online meet, it is completely okay. Like most of the clubs which I have attended are delayed by 5 to 10 minutes. Here we are delayed by 3 minutes, which is perfectly fine. And coming to SAA did a decent job. He mentioned all the ground rules before starting the session. And coming to presiding officer, she explained what the club mission is, and she announced a new announcement such as there are 7 to 9 new members that uh, who have enrolled in Toastmasters in the last few weeks. And also she announced that there will be a new orientation session for new members, which would be helpful for them. Then coming to TMOD. TMOD has done a great job. in explaining about the origin of Toastmasters. And in the start, TMOD explained the structure of meeting, which is a good job. But just a recommendation for you that please please involve audience when you're delivering your TMOD script. It would be better because at some point audience feel that they are lonely, they're alone, and they're not involved in the session. It's better if you ask few questions to them. It would be helpful for you. And coming to the tag team, they have done a pretty decent job. And coming to speaker one, the speaker one Pranav has used voice modulation very well. And she once mentioned everything that he needs to explain more about fictional characters and so on. And also just a suggestion for you is you should include audience in your speech, not in the whole speech, but just for 30 seconds. It would be better. And also one more suggestion for you is before giving a speech, try to stand up and give the speech so that the evaluator knows your body language. And Toastmaster Aditya, he did an amazing job in storytelling. He has a chronological sequence throughout this meeting. And he used words very well. And I love the quotation that perfect practice makes a man perfect. It is something that is outstanding. And he motivated everyone how to be a better speaker by joining Toastmasters and how mentor plays a crucial role in shaping a better speaker. Coming to TTM. TTM did an amazing job for today's session. In today's session. In the start before table topic session, he just narrated a small story of how little things impacted him, which connected to the team very well. And also, I'd like to inform TTM that you should ask every speaker to use word of the day and idiom of the day in case if they forget, so that they'll use the word of the day and idiom of the day. And in the start, you forgot and you by mistakenly said that the table topics are for 2 to 3 minutes, but the table topic session is for 1 to 2 minutes with a buffer time of 30 seconds. And also you should include in your script that table topics is not only restricted to members, but guests can also speak here in table topics. The table topic speakers were too good. Just a suggestion that when delivering a table topic speech or something, don't introduce yourself in your table topics because it will waste your time. Try to be precise and come straight to the topic. It will help during contests. That's it. And coming to evaluators, Toastmasters Shivansh and Shambhavi, you did a great job. You have used sandwich method, which is a very good method. Sandwich method is something where you'll tell good things that a speaker has, and then points of improvement, and then recommendations. Here, I would like to request Shivansh uh, to add recommendations in his evaluation report. Overall, the meeting was too good and it is quite entertaining. That's it with my GE report. Back to TMOD.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Jagdish. That was a wonderful and very precise evaluation, I must say. Going on, our everyday lives become so monotonous, and we have so many little things which unconsciously become a part of what we are. And they can be anything: the way we greet people, the way we eat, the way we talk, walk, and go on with any other general thing. Because these are tales about you that people will know. And thus, we become stories. Because remember, these are not just our daily routines, they are the little things we do. which when looking back we connect the dots, they form a beautiful pattern called life. Enjoy them as they come and enjoy them as they go, because these are tales which don't have an ending opposed to a story. After all, they are the little things. Thank you, everyone. This was my time as TM Modi for meeting number 208. Back to the presiding officer, Toastmaster Jaswita.
Thank you, TM Modi, Toastmaster Nikhilesh. And a very good morning to every one of you. I would love to see you on camera as the meeting is almost done. And yes, it would be nice to see you all on camera and address the last few minutes of this today's meeting. Yes, I'll give you how much time should I give you to turn on your cameras? 5 seconds. Until then, I request our general evaluator to post the meeting voting link in the chat box so that all of you can vote. Until then, yes, sure. Well, what the little things that we have discussed today, what I have observed in today's meeting is that every one of our prepared speakers have also introduced the theme in their speeches, which is not very familiar or what happens in every day in our meeting. That was very interesting for me to listen to all of your speeches. The meeting theme as well was very intriguing. At some point, I felt, oh, I was lost in a story. And the table topic session, the most impromptu session that have, oh my God, that gave me chills, I must say. Great job, table topic master, Revan. This was today's meeting, and the link will be posted in the chat box. Until then, we have our new members, and let us ask their what they have felt in the alphabetical order. We have, do we have Aryan? Yeah. You don't have an extra A, so I'll go with Alfonso first, alphabetically. Are you
Uh,
there?
yes, I'm
Sure.
there. Good morning,
Sure.
everyone. My name is Alfonso Jose, and I had a great experience today. I've learned a lot from a lot of you guys' speeches, and I'm quite nervous today since it's my first day. But yeah, I had a great time. Thank you.
Thank you. And Aryan next.
Uh, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, sure, Aryan. We can hear you.
The meeting was nice. I was scared. I kind of felt what the Toastmaster, the table topic part. I felt the fear in me, although not called. I still felt the fear as much as anyone else. Yeah, great meeting. I'll participate more in the next meetings and the meetings to come. Thank you.
Thank you, Aryan. And it's Angelina next.
Hi, everyone. Overall, it was pretty interesting. And I pretty much like the fact that people are focusing on keeping the time limit, because most of the times in different speeches that I have heard, and including myself, we tend to go over the time limit. And sometimes people get bored or they might have other priorities. And I really like the fact that people are emphasizing on that. So that was kind of interesting. I learned a lot of things from others. I also came to know where I have to improve, and that was really good to know. Overall, it was really interesting. Thank you.
Thank you, Angelina. I still remember my first meeting, which happened a year ago. It was online too because of exams. And I was the member who didn't turn on her camera, and I was really scared as well. So your whatever you did today, it is like the what I wished I would have done in my first meeting. Yes, you were really encouraging and active throughout the meeting. Then, do we have Brahma Ganesh in the meeting? Yes, he is there. Can you give me your
Yep.
inputs and thoughts
Yeah.
about it?
Mhm. First of all, yeah, it's still morning. So good morning, everyone. Morning, all the Toastmasters, fellow Toastmasters, I should say. As a novice, like everyone else, I've been observing a lot of things like Anjanila just said about time, which is a very essential thing for speakers so that they don't really go on and on about, beating around the bush about something and miss a few points. It's really important to plan the speech out. And also a lot of other things like grammar and stuff where people usually go wrong. That's actually a lot of wide scope for people to learn and understand. In the very first session that I had right now, it was great. And I know I've been told that things are supposed to be kept formal in such sessions, but then I did realize the moment the break was on, hell broke loose. I mean, I just kept my phone for charging and then I came back at looking at people shouting, wondering what happened, realizing just that it was break. So it's good to see people having such nice connections and respecting the rule of being formal in such sessions. And of course, being informal, completely friendly in terms of breaks or, not being in a session. That's really good. That's a good atmosphere for, most people to learn as well. That's what I thought. And yeah, I really quite, enjoyed this session and felt great. Thanks. That's it.
Thank you, Ganesh. And
I would just like to speak one
literally,
thing. 1 second,
yeah,
Jessica.
sure, Dash.
Toastmaster Jagdish, in the voting link, the best of tag team question is repeated. So can you just remove the second one?
Oh, sure, sure. My bad.
Thank you for taking a note of that, Toastmaster Daksh. And yes, the timing. When, as a new member, when we join TAP, the president kinds of pulls us out to give an introduction, a guest, or at the ending of the meeting. And when I was asked about my introduction, that day my internet was really bad, and I didn't know exactly what was going on in Toastmasters, except the fact that there were three timer cards, red, yellow, and green, and I told it as traffic lights in front of 40 members. So that was my experience with the timer and the role. Yes, next up we have Toastmaster Nikhil. Can you give me your introduction? No, sorry, your experience.
Well, hi everybody. I think it was a great meeting. I have already seen how Toastmasters works, and I kind of knew all this. Yeah, it was actually a very nice meeting. You can always learn from people's mistakes, and you can understand what mistakes you have made from these meetings like this. They say that human brain starts working from the moment you're born, and it stops when someone asks you when someone asks you to speak up in public. And mine kind of literally stopped. I was like, okay, what am I gonna speak? And it was really hard, like the table topic moment. But I think yeah, that's why we're here, like so we don't get blanked out when real things like this come to us in like real life. So yeah, it was a great learning experience, and like looking forward to learn more. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Nikhil. You actually remind me of our senior Toastmaster Nikhil, who is currently Daksh's mentor. You look and speak very familiar to him. Daksh should agree about that.
Yeah,
Next up, we
it's
have
very similar.
Toastmaster. Yeah. Next up, we have Toastmaster Viraj, who has taken up the timer role and he has dropped it throughout the meeting. Please give your experience about your first meeting.
Yeah, though Nikhilesh gave me the timer role, which was a bit hectic for the first time, okay. But I enjoyed it a lot. Actually, for the first time, I guess I got responsible in my life. So it's okay. And I want to make one point to Aditya. You thought Toastmaster was a food club now. That's what I also thought. So we are on the same boat, don't worry. And about the meeting, I actually knew how it worked. And now that I'm looking at in real, it is actually, that's what I thought. Okay, that's all I want to say.
Thank you,
Thank
Toastmaster
you.
Viraj. And we have our last new member, Toastmaster Sri Lalita, who has given a wonderful table topic, I must say. Sri Lalita, can you give your experiences today about today's meeting?
Yeah, so like Jasita mentioned, this is my first Toastmasters meeting. And I did not know how anything works. There's like so many different people, just like listening to everyone speak. And also, my connection's pretty bad. I'm really sorry about that. That's why I'm not turning on my video. And when like the TTM started, my connection was like terrible, and I was barely able to turn on my audio, and so I didn't know what was going on at all. And like the thing is, usually I tend to speak, whenever given the chance, like on stage. So I was just like, okay, you know what, Toastmasters would probably just be an extension of that. But no, these things are actually difficult, bro. Um, so yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was actually very challenging, and this is a great opportunity.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sri Lalita. And here we are at the end of the session. Toastmaster Jagdish, can you send us the voting results so that I can announce the winners of today's meeting?
Yeah.
Yes.
I need to get
sure.
3 more responses.
Yes, please, if you haven't voted yet, you can go ahead and vote. And once you have voted, give me a confirmation.
In the meeting chat, and the link which is shared in the WhatsApp group is the same, right? Just clarification.
I'll just check it out. Yes, Pranav, they are both the same link. So you can go ahead and vote if you haven't. So until general evaluator has will send me the voting results, you can talk, but in a formal way. As the meeting is not ended yet and the recording is going on, you can talk about any doubts you have or any questions that you have, or whatever you want to ask about Toastmasters, or if you want to say, hey, President, you can improve here, or hey, General Evaluator, you could have evaluated me better.
President, you can improve.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shamil.
Have a lot to improve, President, on presidential skills.
Well, I got the results.
Like,
improve a lot.
Let us keep the President cheering session after the meeting. The results. Huh. Well, first up, we have best of prepared speeches. Any guesses?
Lion.
Yes, it's our Toastmaster Aditya. Congratulations. Then next up, we have the best of Big Four. And it's none other than
Jaggu Bandel.
TMOD.
none other than Toastmaster Nikhilesh. Best of table topic speakers. It's the person whose name I have told wrong in the starting of the meeting. Toastmaster Angelina George. Congratulations. Best of speech evaluators, our very own VP Education, Toastmaster Shambhavi. Best of tag team. Tuck, 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 tuck. It's Toastmaster Sharanya. Congratulations. These are the results for today's meeting and officially declare meeting number 207 themed Little Things closed. You can stop the recording. And the session is open for networking.